A popular book about Savannah gets an update and a new publisher. Savannah Square by Square is back for its 6th edition. This week, we stopped by to a book signing to talk with a familiar face about this new edition. So we're at the Harper Folks House in downtown Savannah. We are talking to an old friend of WSAV. You remember Michael Jordan. Hi, Michael. How are you?
Good to see you.
Good
nice
to see
meet
you.
you in person finally.
Finally, I've heard a lot about you. All right, so let's talk about the book. You wrote it in 2015. It was published in 2015. It is still going.
Yeah, this, you'd think, how is there space for another book about Savannah? There are so many, but there wasn't a good book about the squares, especially one that had photos of each square. So this book came out in 2015. It details all the monuments and homes and churches and tells the story of each square. Where does it get its name? Who lived there? What happened there? And since it came out in 2015, we've sold 10,000 copies. But we're especially excited now because Coastal Heritage Society, the organization where I used to work right after WSAV, that operates Harper Folks House and several other museums, has taken this on now as a project.
And that's a perfect pairing for your team and the book because of their focus on history in the area.
Coastal Heritage Society is not just a group of museums. It actually puts history into action. They have folks who can help you understand person to person in uniform what it was like to be a Revolutionary War soldier in Savannah, or what it was like to work at Pinpoint when it was an operating oyster factory. So they really cover the gamut, and they're devoted to keeping Savannah history alive. So we're thrilled to be partnering with them to do the latest edition of the book.
So originally published in 2015, you said latest edition of the book because you've updated it a bit.
Right.
There's some new stuff in this.
Believe it or not, Savannah seems like it never changes, but it does. Sometimes buildings are painted a different color, or there are decisions about, hey, are we going to tear the Civic Center down or not? So there's always a little bit to tweak and update, but the core of the book is the same, and the same thing that people have loved and have purchased since 2015.
And I know it's not just the Michael Jordan project and Michael Jordan book. You have a team that originally helped and is still helping, right?
Yeah. Well, this was actually the brainchild of Mick McKay, who's a really gifted illustrator and graphic designer, and he saw the need. This actually is, there are so many books, but there isn't one about just the squares. So it was his brainchild, and he enlisted me to write the text, and his wife Connie is one of the photographers, and we had Les Wilkes and Phil Hodgkins were also photographers on the project. So it was definitely a group team effort.
Okay, so you're doing a book signing here today, but beyond today, where can folks find the book?
Well, the book is just about anywhere you can buy books in Savannah. We're always looking for new places to sell it, but you can get it in any of the Coastal Heritage Society gift shops. That's here at Harper Folks House, Savannah History Museum, Fort Jackson, the State Railroad Museum, which is downtown. In addition, it's at stores all over downtown Savannah, and we expect it to be for sale on Amazon pretty soon, too.
All right, and you yourself, I mean, you are busy. I was reading some of the projects you've been working on. Give everybody a taste of what you've been doing.
Well, since 2014, I've lived in Knoxville, Tennessee. I called it an exile in the beginning because I love Savannah so much, but I'm married to a wonderful spouse who's an academic, and she got a job at the University of Tennessee. So since we moved, every year I do 1 or 2 projects about Savannah, either a book or a movie or an article, and I've worked at a museum there, and now I'm about to start work at a radio station in Knoxville. But I will always be back at least once a year to get a new project and sign copies.
All right, back on air in Knoxville. All right, sounds good. Well, I know people love seeing you here in Savannah, and thanks for talking to us.
Feels like I never left.
All right, again, this is the 6th edition of Savannah Square by Square. It retails for $34.95 at all Coastal Heritage Society museums, local bookstores, and, as he said, on Amazon.